This is the story of Barabbas, and Sergio picked up this book today. Today is Sunday, April 19th. Barabbas waited on the death row shelf. He had a run in a gang. He would die by himself. His muscles were thin, his skin was pale, but then that comes with a stay in a jail. He was tough underneath and rough as well, but he jumped at a thump on the door of his cell. The sweat dropped down from the frown on his brow, and he thought to himself, "What's happening now?" The sound of the rattling chains was clear, and the scuffling footsteps reached his ear. A little way off, the noise stopped short. The Roman ruler was holding court. A trial, yes. What could it be? Barabbas wished he could hear and see. A man whose back was racked with pain was brought to trial in an iron chain. Everyone listened as the question came, "You're King of the Jews?" He was Jesus by name. "You said it yourself," Jesus replied. And the priest, his enemies, stamped and lied. They hissed and insisted that several times Jesus was guilty of terrible crimes. They accused him of things that just weren't true, and even wondered what Jesus would do. They listened for a word. Not one was spoken. They waited, but the silence remained unbroken. "What?" said the ruler in shocked surprise, for he knew too they were telling lies. "Won't you answer? Haven't you heard?" But Jesus spoke not a single word. Now every year it had come to be that the ruler set one prisoner free. It was just the custom the mob must choose, and now was the time to announce the news. So Pilate said, "You people know, it's time to let one prisoner go. Shall I give you Jesus? What's your decision? Or the criminal Barabbas, who's locked in prison?" Now, everyone knew that Barabbas was bad, and the kind of reputation he had for murder and stealing. He was locked in a cell, and maybe more too, though no one can tell. Then Pilate's wife sent a message, a note, and Pilate read the words she wrote. "I had a nightmare. Oh, what a fright. I'm scared. It scared me terribly late last night. It was all about Jesus, and now I know that you should let that man go." The chiefs of the priests did a pretty fast job of changing the mind of the whole big mob. Then Pilate stood holding the scribbled note, turned to the mob, and cleared his throat. "Who shall I give you? What shall be done?" "Turn loose Barabbas!" they screamed as one. "What about Jesus?" Pilate demanded. "Crucify Jesus!" the crowd commanded. "He says he's the King of God," one snorted. "We'll teach him who's who," a priest retorted. Pilate felt helpless as he heard them sneer. Then this is the whisper that reached his ear. "The priests are jealous." He showed them up and said that they're just like a fancy cup, that it's clean on the outside, but dirty within. They pretend to be good, but they're full of sin. So they thought up a plot to stir up a riot, to get rid of Jesus and keep him quiet. "He's done no evil," Pilate cried. "But he want him dead," the crowd replied. Again there arose a wild commotion, like the mighty roar of an angry ocean. Things were getting out of hand, and Pilate decided to take a stand. "I wash my hands of this case," he said. "His blood will be upon our head. I'm through. He's yours, he said aloud, and handed him over to the waiting crowd. Back in his cell, Barabbas waited. Barabbas, the man who robbed and hated. The cell door opened. Barabbas grew paler. You're free. You won't die, said the Roman jailer. Instead, they'll punish an innocent man. And Barabbas was stunned at the twist-about plan. Bido, he guessed, as he watched that day, an innocent man being led away, that when Jesus died on the cross, the tree, he was setting millions of people free. That's the story of Barabbas.